ETH has been stuck in a parallel range since 2022 and is currently testing the bottom of this range. But on the short time frames, on the 2-hour chart, we are seeing bullishness as Ethereum is forming a bull flag, which is not surprising since this week, Blackrock began acquiring ETH for their upcoming Ethereum staking ETF. And when Blackrock bets on the ETF, take it to the bank, literally, their track record ETF applications is nothing short of superb. They've submitted 576 applications. Every single one, except for one, has been approved, giving Blackrock a 99.8% success rate for approvals. And Blackrock, as well as JP Morgan, are among 35 different firms building on Ethereum. And they're not only building, they're buying. Morgan Stanley, among other top holders, are adding Bitmine exposure to their balance sheets. And Bitmine is an Ethereum treasury company. Here's the chairman discussing their strategy.
It's important to create a project that essentially accumulates Ethereum to essentially protect and have some influence on the network. So that's why we're creating this treasury vehicle to buy Ethereum. The more Ethereum that's accumulated, the more secure the network is. And I think it's also sort of the architecture that future banks will have.
And it's not surprising big banks are accumulating. Ethereum is on track for its 6th red month in a row. Now, look at what happened last time ETH was in a string of red months. Last time was 5 red months in a row. About a year ago, you can see here, December of 24 and January, February, March, April of 2025. That would then later lead to a 40% pump for Ethereum, followed by a flat month, followed by a 50% pump for Ethereum, and then nearly a 20% pump for Ethereum. This move from May to August would send Ethereum pumping a whopping 187%. The 187 was for the bears. So let's get into the charts here because we do have some bullishness, but I do want to temper some expectations. So the short-term bullish move, on the backdrop of Blackrock and everything else is going to be this bull flag, and if we can get a breakout on the pennant. And so you would measure the flagpole into the breakout area, and that would give you roughly about a $2,500 Ethereum, $2,550. Pretty good pump from where we're currently at, which is under $2,000. But now let's maybe do a warning here. This is the 2-hour candles for Ethereum. And amid this, I would say, bear flag that just keeps going and going and going, at a certain point, you have to be careful because you don't want the flag to reach below the halfway point. And right there, we're kind of right at the halfway point. I mean, we are bouncing above here. So it is getting close to basically being rendered obsolete here. So I would focus on this pattern next. This is the symmetrical triangle, shorter term time frame. Now, there is a trading plan for symmetrical triangles. We talked about them before. You look at the first time it's touched the top and the bottom. You do it 2 different ways. You could draw a straight line from the bottom to the top, or you could keep the line at an angle. We'll go ahead and do it this way here. And so we're going to see first time we touch the top and the bottom, it's going to be right here, slight angle. If this breakdown does continue, because we are seeing some Middle East tensions rising, that could create, a severe red candle over the weekend. It's going to be low liquidity. Just be very careful. Gives us a very bearish target around 1550, 1570. So to the upside with this bull flag, about 2,500. To the downside with the symmetrical triangle, about 1,500. So 2 different major targets for ETH. Right now, the bears are in control. You can see we are losing this range, and we're on the cusp of losing what a lot of technicians would say, renders the flag obsolete as well. And just to reiterate, that's going to be when it breaks down below this 50% range. But I don't want to end on such a sour note. So, on the daily, we are seeing bullishness. So I do think this Blackrock news can continue the bullish streak. I am leaning a little bit more bullish. I don't think 1,500. If I had a guess, I would say 2,500 is more likely than 1,500 at this point. And we're starting to see bullish divergence on the daily. Maybe it's a hidden divergence, you could say, from the candle bodies here. A slight move to the downside, and we're getting pretty close to printing this move to the upside here. We're about 6 hours away from closing this candle, so we'll get a better confirmation after that. Right now, it is looking slightly bullish. We are ticking upward with the relative strength index. So there's your ETH charts and news. Blackrock coming in, buying ETH for the staking ETF. They are going to get approved. 576 1 odds for these ETFs. But that symmetrical triangle is breaking to the downside, so just be careful. Let me know down below. What are we going to see next? $2,500 ETH or $1,500 ETH? I'm going to be counting, so type in what you think. I'm DZ for Discover Crypto. I'll see you and your ETH at the top.